Hey, welcome back to Esotericom. I am Jod. Please excuse me if I'm squinting. The dog was barking. Her name is Spirit, and we just went outside to see why she was barking. And after maybe a minute or two of looking around, couldn't see anything. But alas, we looked up, and there was a orb moving across the sky. So pretty cool. Love seeing stuff like that. Hard to tell what it is or if it's some super secret technology or if it's a extraterrestrial or what it is. So, but it was very cool to see something that defies explanation in our skies, and there's definitely a lot of that going on. So, a lot of different narratives coming out about the matter, whether there are civilizations here from other planets, other dimensions, or it's mostly just government tech. Pretty cool though, pretty exciting that we're having a conversation about extraterrestrials and UFOs and UAPs and other dimensions and timelines and all that fun stuff, which I'm game for. I love it. So yeah, I'm John. This is Esoteric Om. I am a Reiki master teacher. I'm a martial artist. I am a spiritual seeker. I'm a practicing magician. I am a student of all things kind of occult and wacky and very unique out there stuff. I love it. So that's who I am. I've been practicing magic for about consistently, well, I guess all my life. Haven't we all, right? We're all magical creatures, but I've been doing it the Western magical path for probably around 6 or 7 years now. Maybe 2019 is when I really got serious about it. So yeah, I love it. I'm a big believer in our ability to co-create our lives, and I love the mystery of life, and I love the mystery of divinity. I think we are more powerful than we can even imagine. I think that we are only limited by our beliefs, and that who you truly are is beyond measure, immensely valuable. And you were never born, you can never die, and yeah, you can never be harmed who you really are. So there's a good chance that we're living in a simulation. But yeah, that's for another video. Really, I just wanted to hop on. It's July 20th again when I'm filming this. I think this is my second or third take because Spear was barking, but I haven't been on in a while, and I just wanted to log on and kind of give you an update about where I am and let you know that I hope you're doing well and I'm thinking about you. And yeah, I enjoy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing. So really, as I kind of alluded to in a previous video, life has been really busy recently. So I have a career, I have a wife, um, taking care of the house, social engagements, a lot of family stuff going on recently. I also wasn't really 100% feeling health wise. Much better now. So, luckily doing great there. But yeah, life has just been super busy. So I've been kind of keeping it to my bare bone magical practice, which is really the LBRP, so sword banishing from Gallery of Magic, middle pillar, uh, lesser banishing ritual, the hexagram, couple other kind of etheric energy practices. And then I typically do a daily ritual depending upon which planet is ruling the day. I do rituals with the Secret Angels, that book from Gallery of Magic. And then recently, really the only other main daily ritual I've been doing is from Financial Transformation Financial Transformation Magick by Damon Brand and the Gallery of Magic. So I have been doing that. I mentioned this before, but I have completed the Wealth Magic working. I've completed the Enochian Success Magic working. So this is kind of my third big long-term financial working, and I experienced great results in both of those. I am not a millionaire by any means, but I did see during those rituals both influxes of cash as well as a steady increase in my financial knowledge and habits. So this kind of supersedes wealth magic. I really think if you haven't done Enochian Success Magic, or if you haven't done Wealth Magic, I would go ahead and start straight with this. I wasn't sure if I agreed with that sentiment, but if you've never done either of those and you're thinking of a long-term magical ritual for wealth and from financial transformation, I would just go ahead and start this one. It's their most recent. It's updated. I think it's the easiest. And again, it will give you a short financial kind of lesson, if you will, mindset, and then it will give you a ritual. um, it'll give you a ritual, for example, a sigil, some holy names, some divine names, and a mantra. And after reading the chapter, you repeat the mantra for about 2 minutes, it says, anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, and stare at the sigil, activate the sigil. And then there's a daily practice that you do as well. But yeah, I am on ritual 7. I counted it up. It's been about 85 days without, not counting the breaks I've taken in between rituals of this working. So again, I in my life I've had times where I have absolutely no money in the bank. I Luckily that was a while ago, but I've had times where I really don't have a home, rent. I'm sleeping on friends' couches, stuff like that. And yeah, now I have a career. I've been there for 4 years, with a great company that I work with, and yeah, it's been, own a house, have 2 vehicles, money in savings, investments. So I regularly feel extremely wealthy, even though, you know, comparing myself to other people, I'm no, like I said, I'm not a millionaire by no means, where I want to be, but compared to where I have been, I am doing much better. And a lot of that is just working very, very hard, because I never want to be poor again. And a lot of that is luck, and a lot of that I would consider is just divine grace and the magical workings, the kindness of others, lots of reasons. So my point being that this is a long-term working. There are other rituals, other books. If you need cash now, if you're like in a spot where, hey, I don't have any money in my name, I need $50, there are other workings for that. Magical Cash book, also other authors besides Damon Brand, The Gallery of Magic. But this is a long-term working, should take about a year with days, depending upon how many breaks that you use, that is designed to transform you into someone who is wealthy lifelong, who has the correct financial attitudes, financial habits, understands money. Money's a very confusing subject, I think deliberately, and there's a lot of different things, self-worth, societal attitudes that are tied into the idea of money. As spiritual seekers, we sometimes think that, kind of like poverty is almost connected with virtue in a lot of ways. So being a spiritual person and wealthy, that these ideas kind of, until recently, haven't always gone together. And yeah, it's been super helpful so far. So very grateful. A lot of it has been divine grace, divine mercy that I'm here. I can't really take credit for too much of it, but I've wanted to transform my life. Just the other day, we were driving down a place in Georgia called Roswell, funny enough, and we were driving down to this. We were going to a jujitsu open mat, and we were looking to the left and the right, and these houses are not millions of dollars, there's tens of millions of dollars. And it just, again, stoked my imagination as far as what is possible. There's people out there that have 15, $20 million houses, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of millionaires. There's a lot of billionaires in the world. So why can't you be one? Not everyone needs a lot to feel wealthy. Not everyone wants to be a billionaire. I would say most people probably want to be a millionaire, but having $1 million in today is not as much as it used to be. You have inflation, you have economic instability, you have taxes. So my goal is to have enough money that I can retire in the next 5 to 10 years, do whatever I want, travel, live off the interest, have investments, not have to worry about how much I spend. So, you know, um, as far as what actual number that is, I would say probably 10 million. But yeah, I also am okay with more, and probably could do with a lot less. But that's my goal. My goal is By the time I'm 50, in 10 years, 'cause I'll be 40 here soon, and it goes quickly. I want in the next 10 years amass enough wealth that I can retire, have businesses, investments, live off the interest, travel, support a family, all that fun stuff. So that's what I'm working towards. And my strategy is to work a traditional job while making investments, kind of upskilling as well, and then have as many sources of income as possible. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I kind of wanted to start again from a place of what am I doing this? Money is one of those things that is a tool. It can help you experience life. It can make some problems go away. It gives you the ability to have better experiences. Is it everything? No. You know, it's not the end all be all. I don't worship money. I want to have a good relationship with money. I think what is the most important thing is your relationship with whatever is doing, did this, does this, whatever you want to call that, God, divinity, source, your higher self, yourself. That's the most important thing as far as in my viewpoint. It's not everybody's viewpoint, but the most important thing for me is my spiritual relationship with the infinite mystery. So um, that's it. And I've always kind of had that bent. I've always been a spiritual seeker. I've always been interested in what's really going on, energy, religion, philosophy, all these things, because from my perspective, I could tell that this is transient. This comes and goes. You can't hold on to it. You can't take it with you. Fortunes rise and fall and rise again. So um, my life goal was never the first thing to do was get rich. It was to figure out who I am, what God is, who God is, my relationship to that, and who am I really? What am I really? So most of my life, I would say, was devoted towards that goal. It was devoted towards figuring out I have a soul? What is a soul? What are these metaphysical ideas? What do the great religious scholars, the great mystics, the great philosophers say about this experience of life? And assuming that from a human vantage point, we're all born and we all die and we get old and we get sick and we lose people that we love. What is suffering? Kind of like that. So I was raised Christian. I still I love Jesus. I have a lot of Christian, a lot of things that I've gotten from Christianity that are good. I studied Buddhism. Love Buddha as well. I studied Hinduism. I studied Western Esotericom. I studied the Bhagavad Gita, Hinduism, so Taoism. I studied a lot of these great veins of mystical religious thought, and I found a lot of similarities in them. I think that there are more similarities in the world's religions and veins of thought than there are differences. So what is everyone trying to say? And I think what they all kind of boil down to is you are it. It's you. It's you. The thing looking out from your eyes is divinity, and what's looking back at you from life is divinity, and life is kind of a love letter between you and God. But yeah, it's also, my viewpoint is constantly changing. I've gone back to really just being a student again. I haven't really been putting anything out. I've been keeping my spiritual practice pretty basic. My magical practice, at least, is pretty simplified. Maybe takes me 30 minutes a day. I tend to do it consistently. I mean, there's days where I'm, well, very rarely do I not do it. I do it consistently when I'm tired. I do it when I'm sick. I do it when I have other things I have to do. Am I perfect? No. Do I miss a day here and there? Yes, but I stick with it. I'm consistent with it. It's important to me. There's also habits in my life that kind of, I wouldn't say are spiritual habits, but are support this thing that I'm trying to do, trying to build. I do breath work every day. I've been doing that for 7-8 years every day. 10, 20 minutes of breath work, sometimes more. Like today, I probably did around 30 minutes of breath work. It's a Sunday. I didn't have to work. I've been doing cold showers. I've been doing that consistently. I started doing intermediate fasting. So I've been recently doing that about 2-3 months. But yeah, My goal is to try and to learn as much as I can and then demonstrate habits that get me closer to my goal. But I'm almost 40, and I don't want to grow old without money. The world in the Western culture does not seem to be particularly kind to people who grow old and don't have money. So um, for now in my life, while I'm still a spiritual seeker and I'm still have my eyes looking at God, I also want to um, amass material wealth, for the comfort of myself. I also would love, I'm married. I've been married 4 years. I want to start a family. Kids are very, I don't know if that's a limiting belief, but kids can be expensive. I want to be able to travel, Also, the old paradigm of trading your time for money and saying, okay, I'm going to give you an hour of my time and I'm going to get paid this. I think it's going to be a thing of the past. I mean, I think you can't really get rich that way. You can support yourself, but you can't really, I guess some people can, but is that the most ideal way for me to make money, is saying I'm going to give you an hour of my time and I'm going to charge this per hour? No, I want to have my money work for me. I want to have investments. I want to have holdings, stuff that generates interest, cash flow, as well as, okay, there's nothing wrong with giving an hour of your time for money. Just make sure you know your worth, and I think that in today's day and age, the world wants you not to know your worth, because if you knew your worth, you would charge your worth, and our education system is really, created to make good worker bees and good factory workers. It's not designed to make you think critically and understand these concepts like money. So there's a lot of memorization of facts in their history that they want you to understand. So knowing that a lot of these structures want you to consume, want you to work for as little as possible, and really almost rewards unethical behavior with wealth to a degree. And it seems like that, right? It seems like a lot of people who get wealthy are willing to do shady stuff, and things that are not necessarily ethical. So looking at all that, I do think that those systems are kind of crumbling and going away, and new systems are taking its place. Okay, so I think we're in a fantastic time to be alive. I think that of all the times in history that you could have been born, if you are living here right now, it is the biggest opportunity. There's a great transfer of wealth. There's so much information available for free on the internet. There's a lot of distractions too and a lot of noise. But if you are willing to put the time in and use your discernment, you can learn so many things for free. Now, even me, do I get caught scrolling Instagram instead of reading a book or looking at something that's informative? Yeah, of course. It's a great distraction too. It's an attention economy. They want your attention. These platforms want you to be on there, and it's so hard to kind of disconnect and focus just on life and your own experience and have your own thoughts. Even me, I listened to maybe 2 or 3 podcasts this weekend, which is great. I heard a lot of great ideas, changed the way I thought, but there's still other ideas that are being kind of given to me. So um, yeah, think for yourself. Learn from as many different people as possible. If you find somebody that has something that you want, learn how they got it. Copy it, make it better, innovate it. So yeah, I'm not giving myself any excuses for why. I accept full responsibility that I am here because of the decisions I've made, the things I've done or not done, and I know where I want to be. And um, as I get older, the less time I have for BS and for pleasing other people and for doing what other people want me to do. And there's still this like inside of me, this like, oh, well, I don't want them to get upset, and they know better, like they want me to do what I want for them, and f that, like it's my life. I'm not going to worry about what other people want. I'm going to worry about what I need to do to take care of myself and those that I love. So a lot of it is, people pleasing and trying to fit into society and be what other people want. And yeah, it's these beliefs. If you ever notice that people who've made it to the top of the game, right, the top of wherever, First of all, that top is just the bottom of something else. So it never ends. You can always get better. You can always improve. You can always, get worse, I guess, too. That's part of the game. Although your inherent value can never be touched. Okay. Who you are at your core is it's infinitely valuable. And that's where your true value is. Because if you just think that you come into this world and, oh, I'm a human being and I'm going to live and die and get sick and I'm this flesh and blood body and this is all I am, and oh, I'm poor me, like I'm tossed here and there from the fates, and like life happens to me. It's a very, very weak mindset. So the moment that you start to know who you are, and glimpse that, and really integrate it, then you start to realize that you have much more of a hand in this than you noticed. And are you the only consciousness in the world? There are other people too, right? Other perspectives, but really the only thing that you can be certain of is that you exist. Okay, so that doesn't mean that you get to impose your will on everybody and everybody has to do what you want to do, but it means think about what you can actually verify with your senses, your intellect, your experience, and trust that and test it and test it and test it. But listening to other people who think they know what's best for you and tell you what to do, and, oh, don't do this or this, or this is the way, or this is the way. Everyone will tell you something different, and you don't want to get to the end of the game and realize that you never did anything that you wanted to do, that you let other people make up your mind, that you did everything to please other people. And do they really end up caring at the end of it? No. Now, do I think we should help other people? Heck yeah. Do I think that the way you treat other people is the way you treat yourself? Yeah. Do I think that I am you and you are me? Yes. And what I do to you, I'm doing to me, and vice versa. So I should treat you the best because it's really me? Yeah. So there's a lot of paradoxes in this thing, and there's a lot of mysteries. But yeah, you are immensely more capable of creating the life that you want than you could even imagine. And people who remind you of that, listen to them. And people who tell you that, listen to them. Because um, you're here. It's a complete miracle. It's the most magical thing that you exist. That you exist, and you may be old, you may be young, you may be rich, you may be poor, you may be sick, you may be healthy, you may have stuff that you think, oh, well, this affects my value, I can't do that. You have no idea. This physical body of yours is just a sliver of what you actually are and what you're capable of. And you never get to the end of realizing that your value can only only increase. It can never be depleted, right? And even that, it's just one way of saying it. Um, and you can create your reality with your thoughts, your emotions, your deeds, your ideas, your habits, and you can start to create in tune with life. And life wants to give you what you want. The things that you were born with that you want, you were born for a reason. You were born because God, the universe, source, wants to fulfill that for you because it's fulfilling it for them or him or her. Okay, so once you realize that you are meant to be the most powerful, abundant, loved, joyous, beautiful version of yourself, and the whole universe wants that for you because it's a fulfillment of the highest expression for that to happen, then you walk with the force that created everything, the stars, the mountains, the lakes, the forest, the animals, all this. You walk next to, really kind of inside or of it, right? You walk with it. But anyway, that's my rant. I hope you're doing well. I am going to try and get some sleep, but I wanted to hop on and tell you thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber, a part of this channel. I know I haven't checked comments in a long time. I apologize for that. I do feel them. I do appreciate them. I will get back to a more regular posting schedule, start to interact more. But I'm thinking about you. I feel it whenever someone says something positive on one of my videos or likes it or subscribes. No matter where I am, I get this, oh, thank you. So I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.